I was walking my daughter to school in West London, and suddenly, squad cars racing past, one after another. And she was 5 years old. I went, "What's this all about?" You know, having to explain that later was not easy. For you and your family, you're caught up in that attack, which was like half a mile away. Tell us what happened to you.
So the first thing I did after the attack was call my wife, who my 7-year-old son was with her, and sort of said that not to worry, Dad, you might hear there's been an explosion, but your dad's fine. So
But what happened to you?
So I was on the carriage about 2 metres away from the device, heard a high pressure bang, a fireball's gone over my head, lost a bit of my hair and I've got a bit of a singe mark there, and dashed off the train, turned back expecting the carriage to be engulfed. It wasn't, and I've kind of looked around, assessed the situation. There's not more I can do. The emergency services are there, so I went to work. So yeah.
I mean, like everybody, you've been watching all these terror attacks in this country through the year, and everyone's getting apprehensive, wondering how they would respond if it happened to them. When you're actually caught up in it, and you were 2 meters away from a bomb that was designed to kill you and should have killed you, when you realise you've survived, what was that emotion like for you?
So, if I'm honest, I didn't know it was a bomb. I think it might have been shock or denial. I thought it might have been a mechanical failure, or when I got to work and saw the images, I thought, oh, it's a decorator or something where 2 chemicals maybe have mixed up. My mind was saying it wasn't a bomb, and then when the reality was that there was something on that device to kill me, that's when it hit home. You know, I shouldn't be here. So, So,
Emma, what about you? Whereabouts were you when it went off?
I was in the carriage next to Peter, so we just heard really loud screams, and we were trying to get the doors open because nobody knew, and we heard men just shouting "run" at the top of their voices, and everyone just piled out of the train and sprinted towards the stairs where there was a big pileup.
And this seems to have been part of the devastation and the injuries for people, for the 30 people after this. Many of them hurt in the stampede.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we call these people terrorists, people who intend to cause that sort of panic. And although they didn't kill, they caused terror. And you were caught up in that.
Yeah, it was horrible. There was I can't get it out of my mind seeing this little boy. He got completely flattened and squashed by so many people. And I was so lucky to not be I was upright against the wall, putting all my weight into the wall, and people were just on top of each other. It was horrific, just being trapped.
I was reading one account of somebody who got caught up in it, who said there was a point at which a man shouted, "Calm down," and it seemed to have an incredibly soothing effect on everybody. They almost, you know, the crowd almost needed to be told, actually, we're all right. And then it just became a sort of orderly British queue, he says, you know, queuing up to leave the station. Is that what happened?
Well, I was focused on my immediate surroundings. I was underneath 2 people, and there was like 3 women that I could see underneath me. So there were lots of people shouting things and lots of people screaming and lots of people crying, and it was just such a blur and such a feeling of, I am about to die.
Terrifying.
There's a man with a bomb strapped to him. You know, all of these thoughts are racing through my mind because nobody knew what we were running away from. So I did think for a few seconds, like, I'm dead.
Peter,
what a thought.
Anybody in your position who's 2 meters from this device going off, has their head burned, is in shock and everything else, probably normally just go home and chill out for the day. You go to work.
I didn't know what else to do in terms of...
What do you do for a living?
Sell carpets. So
you went back to sell carpets?
Yeah, so
That's a very British reaction.
Yeah.
Rather annoying morning at work on the tube. Sorry, boss. Sorry I'm a bit late. Had my head, you know, burned to pieces.
I wasn't late.
You weren't?
No.
You were on time?
Yeah, early.
And what did you say to your colleagues?
So he's actually a gooner.
You're a Chelsea fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Other than that, I quite like it.
So when I got to work, my boss phoned me up and said, "Oh, is everything okay?" and all that. And I explained I was on, and I sort of played it down as an explosion because I didn't know what had gone on. And I was more interested because he went to the Cologne game the night before.
Right.
And I was more interested in talking to him about that.
What happened there was a crowd trouble,
yeah. And mine sort of took a back seat, and it was only once the severity.
Well, you know what, Peter?
happened.
Well, both of you. You know, to go through this is very traumatic, and I think the way that you both reacted to it exactly the right way. I think to go and sell carpets in the immediate aftermath of something like this is very British of you, Peter, and I congratulate you. And unusually gutsy of a Chelsea fan, I've got to say.